Alright, yo, what's up? So today I'm gonna do in-depth Raze guide. I did the in-depth Jet guide as well on my channel as well if you wanna see that. But yeah, so if you don't know who I am, I'm just I've been a high immortal duelist main for a long time. You can see my older seasons. And yeah, I've mainly played Jet and Raze. They're my two favorite characters. So, I've learned a lot along the way. So, today I'm gonna share some of my knowledge on Raze. I'll go in depth on it. So, yeah. Alright, so I'm just gonna go over Raze's abilities first. So, her first ability is the Boombot. Everyone probably knows all the abilities, but just go over it. Boombot is, you equip it, you throw it out, goes out, bounces off all the walls, faces down anyone sees. So we'll just run at someone. It'll do 80 damage max. Usually won't hit 80 if they're running away. It'll deal the less damage. And yeah, that's the Boombot. Then you have her satchel, which is one of the most versatile abilities in the game. You can do infinite things with the satchel. You can make 20-minute guide on just the satchel alone, but over the basic, it does damage if you throw it at people, and you'll hear the little tick go off. If you do it like this, it won't do much damage. I can show it over here. If you do it like this, and you throw it, blow it up, let's see it live 15, but if you throw it and wait for the first beep, it'll do the full max 50. See, like that. And the satchel can obviously move you around. You can fly with it. But yeah, the satchel has infinite possibilities pretty much. You can have really good aerial movement with it. And yeah, the satchel is... I'll go more on the satchel in a while, but yeah, that's a basic of it. They have the nade. The nade is it's just a grenade. It blows up twice. You can left click it, or you can right click it to lob it. The lob is really good for... Let's say, if there's someone on the opposite side of this wall, you can jump and lob it over. It'll land right on their head. And then you have the rocket, which is... It's a good ult for an entry, but it's also, it can be hit or miss. It's 8 ult points as well, so it's the most in the game. But yeah. The best way to use the rocket is, a lot of people, they see like flights, they'll like do this. But a lot of times this won't work, like practically, unless you've got like a good rollout for it. But the best way to do it is I'll do it slow first. So you wanna ult, throw a satchel, then jump up and do it like that. This way you can do it instantly, you can shoot straight away. So you can do it like this. Whereas, if you do the double satchel, it's got this really long delay. So you want to ult satchel, cancel the animation, and then just shoot straight away. But yeah, that's all of her abilities. So, yeah. Alright, so why play Raze? Raze is really easy to pick up. If you're a new player or whatever, her abilities just do really solid damage. She's not hard to pick up, but she is very, very hard to master. Probably the hardest character in the game. Maybe Astra's higher. But Raze has got a very, high mechanical skill to master with your satchels. There's a lot of things you can do with the satchels. So she scales up the ranks very well. So you can pick her up in low elo and then also continue playing her. Unlike someone like Phoenix, who's really easy to pick up, but starts to fall off really quick once you get to higher levels. So yeah, that's one of the best reasons to play her. Also, if you just like playing very aggressive, you don't really want to have your teammates. Obviously having teammates will help you, but as a Raze, you can do this and clear long on your own instead of let's say you're playing Jet and you have to ask your Sova to drone because you're afraid of someone upping this angle or something. So the Boombot is very you got a little teammate basically. He's a little teammate. So yeah, that's the type of player who would want to play Raze. She's also very fun. like very thin. You can do a lot of things on Raze that you can't do on other characters. So they're the main reasons you would want to play Raze. Alright, so your role as Raze on attack is you have to just make space for your teammates. So whenever you're pushing a bomb site, you're the first one in. 99% of the time, you're the first one in. Because your mobility just allows you to create instant space. Like you can go from here. You can go from all the way here to just here instantly, you know? You can cross so much gaps as Raze. And obviously, Bind is one of Raze's best maps by far. And there's a lineup here to clear hookah. It's a very, very, very strong lineup. You don't need many lineups on Raze, but this one right here, you just stand in the close corner, toss the boombot like that. The boombot will come up straight off the spawn. You can do this as the barriers drop. This is why it's so good. Clears out the left side of hookah here. No one can even hide here. And then you can just clear like this. And take hookah control for free. Then you can... Don't do it like that. You can bounce off the box, get straight onto site and clear. Like that. So that's like a standard entry path for Raze on Bind. Which is, honestly... Every time you play Bind, if you like Raze, just pick Raze. Because she is so strong on this map. Sometimes you don't have to waste your nade here every time as well. You can bounce it back sight there. Which will kill anyone standing here. You can bounce it in this corner. Kill anyone standing there. And bounce it in this corner like this. That bounces in the tube. So what you can do is you bounce it off this, just off that corner, and then you sit here and you spray this side of the box. So either they run into your spray or they die to this nade. It is a guaranteed kill. If someone plays in this box and you're playing Raze, you can even bounce it over here. And do the same. Very, very strong. Any maps with close quarters, Raze loves. Because you can just play these nade spots. And you don't even if you don't have the boombot here, you think about it like this. All of your abilities are so strong for a duelist. Compared to other duelists, you are privileged because your boombot is an amazing ability that can clear angles for you. Your nade is an amazing ability that can clear angles for you. And your satchels are the most versatile ability in the game, where you can use them for damage. Let's say someone's sitting in that corner, you can just throw them at them. You can use them for repositioning, like this. You can do the satchel peeks. Let's say there's a guy playing on this angle. Satchel there. Wide swing them really hard. You can use them to get on top of boxes. You can use them for aerial mobility, like this. Infinite plays with your satchels. And obviously you can use them combined with your ult, which I talked about earlier. So yeah, your main job as Raze is just get the space in order for your team to plant the bomb. And all of your abilities will help you do this. So like, usually there's a defender playing here, so you can just nade this angle. Now they have to back off. All of your abilities to either force people to back off or die.
Bomb buddy out.
You can boot bot like this. You know, it's all about just getting that space. And then you can do the flying in. Honestly, get the feeding out of your system. Feed as much as you want on Raze, but you have to learn from it. You could just limit test a bunch and just see your limits, because the satchels, sometimes they work when you fly in like this and just start spinning around killing people, but just get it out of your system, because everyone's gonna feed when they play Raze for the first couple of times. For the first couple 100 games, I would say, you will just feed with the satchels, and it's fine. So, the only way to learn how to use them properly is just all about feeding, or coming into customs. You can learn these rollouts, but the rollouts are kind of niche. They're kind of just like, you know, you don't need these rollouts to be a good Raze, is what I mean. So that's your main job on attack, is all about making enough space for your team to plant the bomb and then play the post plant. Alright, so Raze on defense. Your main job as Raze, you have two main jobs. You can either play like a mini sentinel, where you have a bunch of space denying abilities, like this. You see you can bounce. You see you can bounce this off the wall like this. Stick all your nades in the choke.
There.
Which will have, on their entry, it will have a really... It will split their team in half. Where half the team will be out and the other half will be running away. And most of the time, they'll be running away from the nade with the knife out. You know, they'll be like this. So it's just some free kills or some free chip damage. You can also do the same with a boombot. Just stick it out there. The enemy have to shoot it. You can get a free kill. Peek off of it. Or you can play aggressively like this. You can come fight for any orbs on the map. You have your boombot clear somewhere out. For this spot on this map, you have to just be aware of this. You can take these orbs, try and farm up your ultimate. But yeah, you want to be just using your abilities to stop the enemies from getting out of these chokes. So like bouncing off walls like this, or just throwing them into the choke like that. You can also, you know, play like this, do the nades there. Enemies will have to run in, but you can just play like this. If the enemies have to come in here, you can also throw a satchel like this. Shoot it, or you can just blow it up as they enter. Get some free kills. You either get a free 50 damage on them, and they get booped in, or they'll have to stand back and wait and shoot it. So they'll be like here. No, they'll have to shoot it like this, and then try and clear you harder. But yeah, your main job is all about just stopping the enemy from getting in. Your nade is also really strong. Just on defense. It is so strong. Like you can, let's say on this map here, you can just right click above like this when the enemies start planting the bomb. Like usually they'll have the sage wall like this so no one can peek you. They'll have the brim smokes, they'll have whatever they have, and you can just jump, right click over this little truck here. You just kill the planter straight away. That's the thing about the nade. If they stick the plant, they die. You can also do the same thing here. Let's say it's same situation, just on this map. I'm just on this map, so this is also one of Raze's best maps. But you can, let's say you have your ultimate. You're sitting here like this. You're waiting. You know, you're challenging showers. You can just watch showers from here. Maybe your teammates in here, and then you hear the enemy start to plant the bomb. You can just ult satchel like I showed you earlier. You can just do it instantly. Look, I'll show you a quick thing. Instantly, the planter is just dead. You can also do the same thing over on these sites. Like you can just wallbang the nade like that. Should kill the planter. You can see you don't really need the lineups or anything. You can just freehand most of these nades. The way the nade works as well, you can see. If you walk backwards, the nade doesn't go as far. You can see. If you walk forwards, then it goes way further. You can see it bounces all the way off the back wall. And if you stand still, you have no momentum. It just goes right in the middle. And if you jump, you'll see the nade goes... I'll just hold it here. See the nade goes up. And if you run and jump, it goes up and further. So the nade physics is like that. So if you want to jump, you have to aim the nade more down, like this. You'll see if I aim it up here, it will go way further than I want it to. But yeah, they're the nade physics. Also, as everything I just said works as well with the right click. But yeah, that's mainly it on defense. It's all about slowing the enemies down, or taking that space off the enemies. So let's say, you know, you want to come fight long here. You'll boombot out like this. You'll wait for the boombot to scan people, and then you can start pushing with the boombot. And this will get you into these early flank positions as Raze. So there you can either, if they're pushing your site, you can nade them really hard. Your nade is your best ability on defense. You can also use the satchels as like a mini nade. It's usually not as good. You can throw it in the chokes as well. Like over here. Now you can throw it in the middle. They either shoot it or walk into it and take 50 damage. But yeah, since all of your abilities work on these little clumped up places, that's why Raze is so good on maps like Split, Bind, Fracture. Because you can just throw your shit in the choke and they'll have to walk into it. That's why if you can time it at the right time, it's very, very strong. Alright, so I'll have a quick guide for the satchels. So the satchels are obviously they're very, very important to Raze's kit. Learning how to use the satchels and the double satchels and the satchel peaks, it's all where Raze's skill comes from. So it's like, instead of just peeking like this, you know, if you just want to peek over here, you can use a satchel like this. You want to have it about, think where your hip is. About here is the best place for it. You can wide swing like this. And this will catch so many people off guard. You want to throw it, wait for your gun to come out. And you want to push with it like this. You want to push with the satchel. Obviously you can do this on any angle. So you can do it right here. You can even do it off the ground. The problem when you do it off the ground, you can see you bounce. See this bounce? You don't really want this bounce because it means when you can fly around the corner like this. Whereas if you do it off the wall, it will be instant and you'll have accuracy. All you have to do is just counter strafe. And this is very good for taking space early. The higher you put it, the more it'll push you into the ground, you can see. It'll go very far. And if I go here, it'll push me further. But when you move with it, it'll push it really far. So that's the satchel peak. Then you have the, let's say, your standard just double satchel. So the best and easiest way to do this is throw the satchel here. You want to run, jump on the satchel, and blast you forward like this. Run, jump on the satchel, blast you. You want to, it's about here. There's like a, you'll learn the radius of where you want to go. There's like a certain radius for speed and height. You see, that's the double satchel. So you want to run, get speed off this satchel, and then usually a bit more height off this one. It all depends on where you aim. So if I aim all the way down, I'll get more speed. If I aim high up, I'll get more height. You can do it from high ground, which gets, it starts to get a bit complicated when you start doing it from higher and higher heights. But yeah, if you aim it too far up, then you will just go straight up like this. So all you need to really do is, you can just practice it in custom game, you know? Like, here on A, I like to nade, I like to come up like this, nade this off, and then I will satchel around over here, come and shoot this guy in the back. They usually don't expect it, even in high immortal radiant lobbies, they don't expect you to be behind them so quick. But yeah, the main thing you want to have is the double satchel, just to get out onto site. You don't need these fancy, like, you know, triple jumps and stuff. It's all about these satchel plays where you can get out on site. But yeah, if you want to, you have a lot of like, it's very personal at Raze. Just go with the flow and see how you use it. But you just want to get these movements down, these like double satchels and the feel of it. Because you can see, if you blow it up too early, you just go straight up. If you blow it up too late, you just straight up. You want to get it at this like 45-degree angle for speed on the first one. And then for the second one, you want to aim about here. It depends on the speed, on where you want to aim the second one. It's very feel based. Just honestly, just practice them and you'll get them. You see, there's so much different ways to use them. I can't cover it all in just a one video. But yeah, that's the main basics I could say about the satchel. So Raze on pistol has a very, very strong buy. And it's so versatile. You can play, it's not as good as Jet's pistol buy, but it's pretty good. So you can just run with a ghost and a boombot. A lot of times to be good. Let's say you're playing blind again, you know, you do this. Really good. You have your boombot here. Boombot is a great pistol round ability. But if you want, you can also just go for a classic double satchel. You know, if you want to entry really hard, I really like this on like Icebox. Icebox A is really nice to have two satchels. Because you don't really need the boombot. If you don't need the boombot, you can go with this buy. You can also go for the classic boombot. You save an extra 100 credits. It's fine. I like the classic boombot as well. And even if you want to be, it's kind of troll, but you can go for the full util buy. Like let's say on bind, you wanna push, you know, with the boombot and then satchel out of hookah. You can do that, but it's kind of more troll. It's kind of like you have a lot less power in fighting people. It's just kind of for hard entry fragging. You can also run with some meme builds with like the shorty. On defense, pretty good. You have to sacrifice one satchel, but you can throw the shorty on the ground before the round starts. So like, let's say you're playing lamps over here. You can buy the shorty with the armor. You throw the shorty on the ground before the round starts. Then the round starts like this. Pick up the shorty. Classic stays here. So you can just play in the corner then with the shorty. Yeah, the frenzy with a boombot's also a really good buy. Frenzy's a really strong gun. Especially for running gun, it's pretty good. But your main ones are gonna be, the most consistent ones is either gonna be the ghost with a boombot or the classic with either boombot or double satchel. They're the main buys, but if you like frenzy, you can also just play frenzy. Like this. And then the shorty, you could play it too, it's just a little bit troll. So that's your main pistol round buys. Alright, so let's say you die and you lose the pistol round. So you're down 0-1. Let's say maybe you kept your boombot, maybe you didn't, whatever. You can buy a sheriff and one satchel. Really good buy. You can just, and then you'll either, let's say you don't have the boombot. Next round, you'll still be able to buy light armor plus a rifle. And you'll still have one satchel, most likely. You want to try not use the satchel in this round. But if you have to, you have to. You know, if the round starts looking winnable, you can use the satchel. Probably the best buy. You can also buy a... You can also buy the frenzy with light armor, but it's a bit more, it's a bit worse. You can also just buy it with 2 satchels. It's a bit weird. It's not the best buy. I'd prefer buy the sheriff. Even if you're not that good with the sheriff, it's still worth trying to get good with the sheriff, because the sheriff's just such a broken weapon. It's 800 credits and you can just upgrade your weapon for free. If you got a kill or 2, you can also buy light armor. But the main number you want to see is this 3300. With this amount, you can... We'll see it now. I will just die here. Just so I don't get the extra loss bonus for saving a gun.
Spike down, attacker
as long as you have that 3300 credits, you can buy a rifle of your choice plus light armor. And that's all you need. It is always worth buying something. It's actually always worth buying something on that round after you lose pistol. Because if you don't buy anything, you're basically just saying to the enemies, you can win. I don't mind. If you can, I'm just gonna give you guys a free round, let you snowball economy, let you snowball ults, everything. Whereas if you buy something, you can buy a frenzy, you can buy a sheriff, like I said. If you buy something and upgrade from just a classic no armor, you will, your thrifties will just go up. And I think it's always worth taking that risk in order to just have light armor in this round and a bit less utility. But yeah, also if you win the pistol round, you can just play the heavy armor Spectre. Just buy as much as you can. It's always good. The Spectre is it's such a great weapon on Raze, because a lot of the time you will be running and gunning. Just from doing like satchel plays like this and running and gunning people down. You can just force buy Spectres as well as Raze. If you get the plant down and all, even if you lose the pistol, you can force buy a Spectre. It's such a strong weapon still, even after the nerfs. Yeah, you can also just buy a Judge. Judge is a really broken weapon on defense, obviously. You know, you play these angles like here. Judge him. Play angles like anywhere close. You know the Judge angles, the usual. You can play here with a teammate. Have your teammate stand on this side. Just ask them. If they don't help you, then I'd say play on this side. It's usually better if you don't have somebody helping you. But if you have a teammate over there baiting for you, you know, you can just easily get a couple kills with the Judge. Well, that's the main eco with Raze. Also, you can just full buy with a Spectre with Raze. Honestly, it's such a good weapon. It suits our playstyle really well because you're usually playing these close angles. But yeah, they're the main ways to pistol and eco and Raze. Alright, so I'll just have a quick summary of everything I just went over. So, the nade is very useful for clearing out angles. Like that. Same with the boombot. The boombot is very useful for clearing places out. Especially these tight corridors, they're really strong, or the enemy have to respond to it. So if you see anyone stuck in a corner, you can just nade them. Hold the angle. They either sit in the nade and die or peek you. The satchels is still the best way to entry frag. It's the second best option you have other than Jet from all agents, but you can cover so much ground so quickly with the satchels. Just like this. And yeah, the way you can roll up the satchels like this. And entry frag is really strong. And the ult is also a great way to entry frag. Ult like this, jump out. Anywhere from high ground, the ultimate is very, very strong. And like I said, you want to be usually out first when you're on attack. You want to be taking that space for your team, not overextending too far. You know, like pushing CT and just running out, trying to get kills. It's not about getting kills, it's about taking the space. That's your main job as a duelist. Obviously you want those kills as well, and they'll usually happen while trying to take that space. But just don't be afraid to fight people. But at the end of the day, you want to... This spike blows up. That is your main job. And on defense, it's all about slowing the enemy down. Nades inside these little chokes, stopping them from pushing. Also, nading people off the plant is very, very strong. Anything like this. If you have any lineups for the default plants, you can just use those. But you usually don't need a lineup. You can usually just kind of do it yourself. As long as you learn the projectile. The nade. So yeah. And then on pistol, you can buy any of the standard pistols. The pistol buys are pretty standard for Raze. They're all pretty good. And that should be everything. So yeah, that should be everything. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. You can leave a like, subscribe, all that stuff. And yeah, let me know if you want any more agents in the future. And yeah, thanks for watching.